All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. So let's dive in. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So what we're going to do today, we're going to dive in, take a brief look at some fundamentals. Not a ton happened overnight. Then we will dive into the charts and dive into some euro pairs. All right. So get over there. All right. So a couple things to look at here. Oops. Zoom. What's happening? One second, everybody. Something's happening with my sharing ability. All right. Drop me a one in the chat if you can see my screen. Beautiful. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. So stock rally fades. Major boroughs in Europe were down on Wednesday as investors take a breath following gains of nearly 4% the day before. A rally prompted by bets that central banks could soon start slowing the pace of interest rate increases started to fade, and investors refocused on outlook for GDP and inflation. Meanwhile, U.S. index futures were also in the red. All right, so this boost of confidence that that investors got, they taking a second look. All right, taking a second look. So that's something we'll take a look at. Oil prices tread water ahead of OPEC meeting. WTI crude futures held near $86 a barrel on Wednesday after rallying almost 9% in the previous two sessions. As investors brace for an OPEC meeting where it's expected to announce a large supply cut due to support oil prices. The cartel is set to meet in Vienna on Wednesday and reportedly considered reducing output by as much as 2 million barrels per day, which is double the volume previously flagged. It will be the biggest production cut since the height of COVID. All right. The looming EU ban on Russia, Russian crude set to take effect in December, and U.S.-led plan to impose a price cap on Russian oil also clouded the outlook as President Vladimir Putin threatened to respond by withholding supply. This week's gain followed four straight months of losses as monetary tightening conditions, recession fears, and strong dollar combined to pressure commodity markets. All right. So oil's in an interesting space, right? They're trying to manage both sides of the coin here, the price and the supply, to keep prices at somewhat of a decent or stable level. Okay, so we'll see. So we'll see how this thing goes, man. We'll see how it goes. We'll take a look at oil briefly too. Okay, and that's pretty much it. All right, that's pretty much it. All right, so like I said, not much from a fundamental perspective. Coming in today, we had pound GDP numbers. Oh, that's next week. Here we go. So later on today, we got ADP non-farm payroll change, which is a precursor to the data coming out on Friday. Then we have ISM services PMI, right? Inflation data coming out at 10 o'clock. All right. So we'll keep our eyes peeled there. 1 second. All right. And that's it for today. All right. Any questions from a fundamental perspective? No? All right. Cool deal. So I want to start here with this Euro JPY. It's starting to make a move now. But we're at a key level here. So from a daily time frame perspective, right, we came just shy of this weekly resistance, right? If we bounce back, look at this weekly level, kind of a double top scenario here, came back to retest that level, and now we're starting to get some retracements and some movements down. Okay, starting to press down. We get to the 4, well, on the daily, a note, we still haven't gotten to 382. So some ways to go, right? So we'll see what happens at these lower levels if we're able to break through them. First level being this previous daily support. Okay. I left this in and want to see how the market responds to these levels as it moves down. Okay. From a weekly time frame, from a 4-hour time frame perspective, we got 80-20 scenario. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone. Prices starting to turn over. Okay, starting to turn over and press down. As we continue moving through the time frames, we got some confluence here on the 4, right? Shallow or no retracement, 118 and 127 zone. Trying to break this trend line now. Okay, trying to break this trend line. So if we get a bearish close below this trend line, right, could be an entry opportunity for us to make this move to the downside. This is a non-aggressive trend line, or if you wait for the cloud, right, you got a little ways to go before you get the confirmations on the cloud. From a higher time frame perspective, you'll then monitor that on the 4 as it's moving through. Okay. But this one is setting up beautifully. I'm going to clean up this chart just a little bit while we're on the line. We got a question? No? Okay. But I'm going to clean this chart up, but keep your eyes on this Euro JPY pair as it is on the move. Okay. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, take some of these levels out and add some new ones. We got support there. And so that's it there. And what we'll do is we'll mark up new daily levels. We'll drop this down. We'll clear this out. We'll clear these out. We'll take all these levels down. Go like this. All right, so these are current daily levels. Now add back in that daily level, a daily support level that just got broken. This level right here. I want to watch the zone here. So I'm adding that back in, but these are current daily levels to the downside. Now I want to see if this zone is respected or if we break back below it, right? So that's why I added that back in. So we'll take these down to the lower. Like so. All right. And we'll run our fib again from the low. Okay. So there we go. That's a cleaner look on the setup, right? So here on the 4, you'll see it a little bit better. Like so. Okay. This daily level is the next level to watch, right? Previous support here, right at that B boundary on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. Right at the B boundary on the 4-hour time frame. So we want to see what happens when we get here. Are we able to break back below that? If we do, we'll have some ways to go before we get to another level of support. Right, we got some 4-hour levels in here, but next key level is down here at 137. So this 142.297 is going to be key for us to keep our eyes on. Okay, on the 1-hour time frame, again, this is that look. Right there. Okay. So we're starting to get some movement out on the 1 hour, right? Still got some time to go if you're looking for the cloud confirmations. Okay. If you're just using trend lines look like this. All right. Goal of the trend line is getting as close to the highest point as possible without cutting off any wicks or bodies. And bang. All right. If you wanted to be more aggressive, you could draw a more aggressive inner trend line there, but this one is sufficient, right? Gives us a nice idea, not too aggressive. So if we're able to close bearish here, trend line is your confirmation point, right? At the close of that candle, if it's a nice bearish close, that'll be a good potential entry opportunity for you on this play to the downside. Okay. Questions on this Euro JPY on the cleanup? Nope. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. Ryan, how are you today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Got me a little bit of rest last night. How are you?
Oh, man, that's good. I got some rest too.
I love it. Love it. Glad to see you, bro.
Absolutely. Glad to see you too, man.
Appreciate you. All right. So that's the Euro JPY. We'll keep our eyes peeled there. Let's take a look at this Euro Aussie. Not a ton doing here. We're still waiting on some things to play out, but let's see something here. Weekly time frame, right? This was a weekly resistance level right here, but we broke that level, or we're dancing at that level. I'll choose that word. All right, that's the level there. We'll drop this down and see what it looks like. But nice strong push to the upside, strong bullish candle, and we got some indecision now here with this Aussie, Euro Aussie, right? So we drop down to the daily time frame, and we're still just shy of this 382 on the daily time frame, right? Back at the top of this range. Okay, this candle here. 54 175, 54 273. So just shy, right? Yeah, Joy, definitely had to get some rest. I'm struggling past couple of days. So we want to see, do we get another push up to get to that daily 382, right? We got some indecision and some pause right now, right? In this overall range that we've been in for quite some time. Okay. Shauna, Dewan, good morning. Good to see you guys. Okay, so we want to see what happens at the top of that range. So we drop down to the 4. Okay, here on the 4, we got a 382 retracement, pushed up into that zone. Now we're getting a little bit of a pullback, right? Matching the extension is here at 156. Okay, so I am anticipating this continuing its push to the upside to get to that daily 382, but it'll call for a break outside of the top of this range. Okay, so we'll want to see a break and a pullback and a retest of the top of that range for that to hold, and then a continuation to the upside. Okay. So that's what I'd be looking for there. It's already on the move, right? Just a small pullback, and I believe we'll continue to the upside there in favor of the euro. Okay. And drop down to the 1. Similar story, right? 382 retracement, that pullback, the extension is there, right? So when that pushed up, we could see something like that. Okay, so not much doing there. That one's already on the move. So we'll see what happens if we're able to break out of the top of this range and get to the daily 382. Okay. Euro CAD. Euro CAD. This one's been a pretty good move to the upside from a monthly perspective, right? From a monthly perspective. I don't always look at this monthly fib, but as I was going through it always intrigues me how things line up in this fashion. So from a monthly perspective, we're sitting at a 382. I mean, we had a shallow retracement, pushed to a 118 and 127 zone, and we broke out, right? So in the monthly, we had a 80-20 scenario, right? And the monthly 382 is at 140, right? Which is another 500 pips away, okay? Then on the weekly time frame, we also had that shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone, and this was the push out, okay? So this weekly D extension, I mean, this weekly 382 is a little further, right, at 622, okay? But the moves are all lining up the same, right? From a monthly to a weekly. Then as we get down to the daily time frame, we had a fresh AB boundary, and then we got the push. Okay, so now we're hovering at this weekly level. And we want to see if we get this continuation to the upside. This thick blue line here is that weekly 382, right? That'll be a deep retracement here on the daily fib. Okay, so we want to see, right? Are we able to stay above? We got a little bit of a retracement early in the week, right? That held, pushed up. Now I want to see if we get a continuation to the upside and stay above this weekly level. Now, if we break below this weekly level, could be headed for a deeper retracement. Okay, we'll see what that looks like on the 4 here. Okay, so here on the 4, you got a shallow retracement, right? And got a double top scenario here, right? Wasn't able to fully break out to the upside. So we want to see what occurs. Okay. Does this weekly level hold, and do we stay above, or do we break below? Okay. Or do we break below? Okay. Do we see something like this? If we break below this, we're headed for a deeper retracement down to retest these previous consolidation zone here, 618, 786 retracement area. Okay. So keep that in mind as you're watching this one. Okay. As we could be in for a retracement before we see this continuation higher. Okay. So keep your eyes peeled there as we drop to the 1. All right, that push sideways. You're sitting in that 118 and 127 zone on the 1. Okay. It's that double top scenario right in that 118 and 127. Right. So here's your cloud, still bullish. Things are still just hovering sideways. Tickets and the Kijans are moving through price. Right. If we get those confirmations in that break, look for that retracement. Okay. So keep your eyes on this one for a retracement and then a continuation. Okay. Sitting right in the zone, pushing sideways. Questions here?
Nope.
Cool deal. Yeah. I'm really liking this one long term to the upside. I don't know that anything will change that bias as of yet, right? So I'm waiting on this low price to add to my trade. That's running to the upside. Okay. So I think that's a longer term play. Seeing this on the monthly time frame combined with that weekly time frame, I got a little bit more excited. So we'll see if this plays out long term and gets to this weekly 382. But that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for in this one over the long term. So still sitting.
Yeah, I like that idea for sure.
Yeah. Are you in this one? Original position?
Yep.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. right? Euro Swissy. Somewhat of a similar story. So kind of, but not really. Retracements nonetheless. So monthly time frame, right? We created some new lows down here, and we're trying to press back up and give us a little bit of a retracement. Okay. From the weekly, we got a 382, but we're stalling in this 118 to 127 zone, coming back and retesting this weekly level that we broke through. Right? Broke through, retest, coming back to retest it again. Okay, so we'll see how this responds, but strong move back to the upside here. Okay. From a daily time frame perspective, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, and you got your push, right? Strong bullish move, likely in for a retracement before we get a continuation higher. Daily 382 sits here, almost at parity. Okay, so looking to see how this continues to play out, but this one could continue pressing to the upside as well. All right, off those new lows. So as we drop down to the 4, this is where we sit. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, starting to turn over. Okay, starting to turn over. So we'll see if we get this retracement here, come back to at least this 382 level, right? Previous resistance, right? Previous consolidation. So we'll see if we get this. And then that. Okay. So this is looking for a retracement to come also. All right. So we get down to the 1, similar story, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. And this move is starting to break down. Okay. Starting to break down. So we drop the cloud on for confirmation. Don't have those yet on the cloud, right? But starting to turn over, broke below the Tinkinson and Keejenson. Haven't got that TK crossover yet, though. Okay, so still got a little bit of ways to go there. If you use your trend lines, right, drop those in like so. Yep. And then there. Then you got an inner trend line running here. Okay. So there's your trend lines there. If you use your trend lines as confirmation, this was more of a sideways push. That's your high point there. That move sideways there. So you got a break there, and then it just pushed sideways. So I would bring this out like that, right? Because this was more of a sideways push. If this closes bearish, that'd be great. Want to see a break of this trend line here, though, right? Because of the sideways push, that's the reason I moved the trend line to the outermost point, right? If it was a strong break to the downside, that would have been your trend line break there, okay? But it wasn't, right? It just moved sideways through your trend line. That's the only time, new folks, it's the only time you adjust your trend line is when you get consolidation that pushes through your trend line, right? The goal is to get as close to the highest point as possible. The highest point is here, but we had consolidation that just moves sideways. So when you have consolidation, it's the only time you adjust that trend line to the outermost point, right? And then you would have adjusted it here. Didn't get a strong break. You got a sideways push. So we adjusted here, right? So looking for a break of the trend line here. If we get that break, if you use a trend line, it's beautiful. Look for that move to the downside, right? You can monitor it off the 1 or the 4 right here, okay? And this is another one that I'm looking for retracement and then looking for a continuation higher. Questions on the Euro Swissy? Benny, what are your thoughts here, man, with this Swiss franc?
Man, well, we woke up this morning, we saw, just like we talked about last night, that the rally is down, right, from the stock market. No, it's still in the zone when you look at that 1 hour. So I would like to see at least a correction to make the determination from there.
Yeah.
As to what it's going to do next. I still would like to play that the 80-20 potentially to the downside to at least that 382 on the one. I mean, the euro has been pretty bullish because of the speculation, right?
Yeah.
With the hike. So I just think right now where it's at is due for a correction for sure. So
I was actually reading an article this morning here. They're saying that they don't see the ECB being able to basically fight inflation. They doubt the ECB is going to be able to fight inflation and protect the economy from risk of a recession. So they're thinking that the ECB may come in dovish. They're starting to get some bets on that, which I don't know if they will.
Yeah, kind of like Australia.
Yeah. So we'll see, but I don't know. Like we talked about this last week. The tone of the ECB has changed, and it's become more hawkish than it kind of ever has been. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually do at the end of the month and what they choose to come out with.
Yeah, we'll see. It's been a wild ride, man. crazy extremes. So
that's a fact, man. That's a fact. All right, cool deal. No questions on the Euro Swissy. Or are there any questions on the Euro Swissy? I didn't ask that. No? Okay. Cool deal. Actually, let me do something. See what this is. All right.
Good morning, Coach.
Shauna, good morning.
I'm all right, Killer. I'm back in the game, Coach.
what's up, Shauna?
What's up, Uncle Benny? How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm all right. Back in the game, Coach. Can you go back to your 1 hour? I had to step away and get my coffee. I ain't even gonna lie to you, Killer.
Yeah. 1 hour is there.
There you go.
Yep. Pushing sideways through that 118 to 127 zone. Right. Looking for that move back down to the downside.
Okay, thank you. Good morning,
You're
Joy.
welcome. Good to hear your voice, Shauna. Glad to see you back.
I'm back at it.
I love it. Cool deal. Let's take a look at this Euro GBP. This one is it's been interesting. So this is the action. On this Euro GBP. Move slow forever. And then we got some random 200-300 pip days. But push back to the top of the range here. And then we got this crazy move back down with that Bank of England jazz that happened. And now we're stalling at this previous weekly resistance level, right? So we'll see if this holds as support, see if we get a push back to the upside, or if we break it and continue back down to the bottom of the range, okay? That's the weekly look. On the daily, here's the daily, right? We pushed into a 8-6 retracement level, weren't able to break out, take out the A, stayed inside that zone, and then we started pressing down. Okay, so the matching D extension off the 8.6 retracement is here at 84.049. Okay. So with that that press down, we're sitting at this weekly level. We want to see, do we get, all right, push back up, or do we just get retracement and then a continuation lower? Okay. So that's what I'm looking for and watching to see what happens. It's weird looking, but we'll look at it on the 4. It's going to be even weirder here, but here on the 4, ran the fib to the downside, you got a 50% retracement, right? Matching the extension is here at 85. Okay, so just shy of the 84 level, but it's a weird looking crown, but took out the previous low, right? Retracement here. Hold on one second, everybody. But there we go, right? Took out the previous low, right? Retracing a little bit. We'll see how deep that retracement goes, right? Weird looking crown, but something like that. Okay. So we'll see if we get this retracement here. Once we get down to the 1 hour time frame, you'll see how that might play out. But that's potential there on a crown pattern. Haven't got to that D extension yet. So as we drop to the 1 and you're running those fibs from top down, right? You see here shallow retracement 118 to 127 zone. We're hovering at that weekly level, right? Trying to push up out of that zone now. Okay. So a couple ways to look at this. Cloud trying to break through it, starting to get your bullish twist, right? You got your TK crossover there. Lagging span has broken through price, approaching the cloud now. Okay. So we could be in for this retracement here on this Euro GBP back to the upside. And then we'll see if we get price to turn back over, but looking at a potential retracement here back to the upside there. Okay. So that's one way with the cloud. You run your trend lines. That spike was crazy. Run your trend lines like so. Right. Originally, you would have come like this, and you see that price push sideways through that trend line, like we just talked about. So you shift it to the outermost point like so. Okay. So we'll see if we get a bullish push, right? Bullish break of that trend line there. Okay. Questions on the Euro GBP?
I got my eyes on this one, man. I think if it breaks, I think it's going to continue to move to the upside.
Yeah. I'm watching this too. I'm watching it closely. I haven't traded this pair in quite some time, but I am watching it too, man. It definitely caught my eye.
I hear you on that one.
Yeah, Joy. Yep. So
I was trying to
what
remain positive on here, but I was like, let me go ahead and go for the sale, right? It took me out, and then I turned, looked at it, and that long wick, I said, you know what? I ain't even mess with you no more. So I broke up with it again.
I'm with it. So let's see what happens here, right? Let's see if we get this movement back to the upside. Okay, that's a good opportunity there. Okay, questions on this Euro GBP? No. All right, cool. We looked at the Euro Yen. Take a look at this Euro NZD. So check it out. So monthly time frame, right? Pushed above this monthly resistance level, and now we're hovering back at it, right? Let's see if we get this continued push to the upside, or do we get a breakdown and a retracement, take back some of that bullish move. Weekly time frame, right? Get a closer look. Sitting at a 618 retracement, right? Then at a 618 retracement, be interesting to see how this one moves. Okay. Strong move to the upside with that NZD cash rate. We got a nice wick down. We'll see if we get more of a retracement here. We may or may not, right? So we'll see how this one continues to move. If it stays above this resistance level, look for this to continue to float to the upside. Next level at 180. If we get a breakdown below, look for at least a retracement back to this 169 level. Okay. So we get to the 4. What we got happening here? It's a weird looking fib there. That fib should be at the high. Yeah, let's do this. Here's your fib on the 4. We got a 382. Not able to break back above and push out, right? So we want to see, do we get this break down below and continue moving to the downside, right? This was that wick there, all right? And now we're just stalling. So we want to see what happens there. Did I skip the daily? I did skip the daily. Here's our daily here. Here's the daily here. Daily D extension is there at 175. I skipped this level, my bad, guys. So we could see a push to get to this daily D extension before we get any other movement. Just moving sideways. So watch for that first. I apologize. All right, watch for this push up to 175, and then we'll see if we get a breakdown and new AB boundary and a retracement from there. Okay, so be patient with this one, as we could get that push to the upside. That's what this thick red line is here. Okay. Yeah. So that's where we sit on that, right? On the 1, you got a deep retracement, 618 level, right? And we pushed out. So look for that push, potentially continuing to the upside. Okay, so nothing doing there on that Euro NZD. And Euro dollar. Euro dollar. It's already on the move to the downside, but look, we got a 382. Okay, we got a 382. Started making our way to the downside. New lows, came back up, retest previous consolidation. Now we're breaking back below that daily level. Okay, now we're breaking back below that daily level. Come here to the 4. And this retracement gave us a 50% retracement. Okay, 50% retracement in line with this daily level, breaking back below. We'll see if we're able to stay below and start making these lower highs and lower lows to make our way down to, this is a 118, 127 zone, but this is your daily D extension there at 92. Right, you see the zone here. It's your daily D extension. Okay, your daily and your weekly D extension, sorry. Weekly time frame. This is what that's looking like. Okay, so between 93 and 92, you got your weekly D extension and your daily D extension. Okay, so one of two things will occur, right? We could get a deeper retracement, right, and push into this 118, this 786 zone, right? Possibility. And then we get this turnover and press down, which will make that 118, 127 level, you're matching the extension. Okay, that's if the dollar continues to retrace. Okay, or if this does start to make your lower highs and lower lows, you'll get there. And then we could have some lower potential down to the 90 cents. Okay, so we'll watch this to see if this is just a short-term retracement and then a push deeper. Right, so we'll watch that. So that's the 4-hour look there. When you get to your 1, this is what that looks like. New AB boundary, and we're breaking down. Okay, so we'll watch this weekly level here at 98. At 98 to see if we get this bounce and push higher before we ultimately turn over and press lower. on this pair. Okay. So I'm eyeing this zone 50-61.8 level to see how the market responds. If we get another push to the upside, right, that'll put us in that 786, 86 retracement zone for a deeper move to the downside and get us to that daily and weekly de-extension as well. Okay. So this will be interesting to see how we respond here. Right. But right now it's down off a fresh AB boundary. Okay. Questions here? Benny, you in this
Sir.
one short?
I'm actually not. But it looks a good play though.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Good play. Really good play. We got a question on the Aussie CAD whenever you get a chance.
Gotcha. Bradley, what's up on Aussie CAD, man? Those are, well, do we have any questions on the Euros before we move out on them?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Marshall.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Just a quick question about the Euro USD. And I guess I'm just thinking how others might, when I say others, I mean the market makers, view the line of parity, if that has any influence on whether that sometimes will say, okay, that should be our point of resistance. Let's continue that downtrend from here. Does that have any influence on them?
It's a level of resistance. It was a level of support once we got there. At this point, I don't know if there's a lot of orders sitting at that level to keep it above or below. So I'm not looking at it from that perspective. Benny, what are your thoughts on that question?
Nah, I don't think so at this point.
Because those orders have basically gotten taken out, right, on both sides.
Mhm.
Your buy orders and your sell orders, any stops that you had placed in there with all this consolidation, right?
Right.
That all got taken out, right? So now it's more of surely from a fundamental and a technical perspective, what's happening, right? And your next key level, as far as from a fib perspective, is here. You got some support levels in here that could come into play, but yeah, I don't think parity is part of the conversation any longer.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's take a look at this Aussie CAD, and then we'll take a look at what was it, pound dollar, like some folks got stopped out of. So we'll take a look at that too. So Aussie CAD, Bradley, what's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, doing well, man. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. It's not a direct specific Aussie CAD pair question. It's more of a question of how it's sitting right now. Say if you go to the 4 hour. And yeah, I guess if you add the fib, you would see it with the fib, because price has in the past on the current fib, come back up to the 618 a couple times for a deep retracement, right? And those couple times I jumped in and wrote it down, but now like where it is, I still believe price in this situation is going to keep going down. Either I have the 4 hour D extension is just a bit further down, like 86, 90, 98 or so. I'm not sure, no one's sure if price will bounce back up for a deep retracement to then have a specific deep retracement entry to ride that back down to the matching D extension. So I'm just looking for, I guess, more or less suggestion of like jumping back into this trade, because I still believe it's going to keep going down, but I don't want to wait for it to go all the way back up, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. No, I hear you. My bias on this one is short. So I've been holding the trade for quite some time to the downside here. If you're looking for an opportunity to get in, to be honest with you, what what I would suggest is waiting for potentially this 1 hour fib to complete, right? Which would give you a break of these levels. And then, right, you'll probably get a break and a retest, right? Something like this. Then you'll get a new fib on the lower time frame, and then you can play it from there. Something like that, and look for a high price to then get short. The other thing you could do is coming down to the 15 and looking at your waves on the 15 to see if you can find a higher price to get short. Let's see. We're running your fibs off the high. That one got taken out. Right, something like this. And see if you get a pullback here. Something like that.
Okay.
Right. And then look for your rules to be met to get short there. Those would be the options. But you want to wait for a high price of some sort, be it after it breaks down and breaks these support levels, right? And then gives you a high price, or if you get a pullback first into this zone, then you can look to get short from there, right? So one of those two scenarios would be if I was looking to catch this continued move to the downside, because it's already on the go. So you don't want, I wouldn't want to jump in now. I'd wait for all this to finish out and then wait for my rules to be met.
Okay.
Cool.
Good. Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, EA got stopped out. Okay. I thought it was GA. Let's see. Kim, what were you looking to play on the Euro Aussie? What was your thought process on that? What were you looking to do?
Good morning.
Good morning.
That was yesterday. I thought it was going to go back down, but it was just kept playing around up there.
What was your entry criteria on this?
I did the since being aboard here, I've been looking at the structure, the trend line break, and the stochastic RSI. That's what I did. But that's not usually my pair that I trade. Okay. So that was just something I just tried new. I usually trade EU.
Okay.
And
so as far as an entry is concerned, you said you use the trend line, stochastic, and support resistance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you get your what time frame you trading on?
1 hour.
On the one?
Yes, sir.
So one thing I'll say, I'm not sure exactly what your chart looks like, but like I mentioned earlier, if price pushes sideways through your trend line, it's not a valid break of the trend line.
I think that's where I got caught up at.
Yeah. So you wanna watch that, right? You want a nice bullish or bearish break of that trend line.
Okay.
If it moves sideways, it's just consolidation, and it still could go either way, right? So here, if you had that trend line running to the upside like this, you see this just push sideways.
Right, I see.
And you'll get caught in that bouncing back and forth, right? So, and most times you don't know it until it happens, right? But depending on where your entry is, right? If you see that, right, going back and just reassessing, you can say, this is why I had a tight stop and it was bouncing back and forth. This is why, right? So now we just take a look at it, readjust that trend line. Now you know you're in consolidation. So now you can sit and wait to say, okay, if I get a break now, which will also break this lower time frame support here, right? That'll
Mhm.
also give me some confirmation of a deeper retracement. But you can also sit and wait to say, okay, now this could potentially bounce higher. That makes sense?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. Got a couple minutes left. Benny, you got anything else that you got your eyes on there? I do want to look at oil.
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on that pound New Zealand.
Yeah. I'll go take a look at that one real quick. This is oil, right? This is that press back to the upside, getting a nice retracement out of it. Shallow retracement. This is that 118, 127 zone we've been watching for a while. Price came into it beautifully, and now it's pushing out. Now we'll see what happens with these OPEC meetings and as they shift output levels and prep for this embargo on the Russian oil. So we'll see if this continues to press to the upside. We could get caught in this range here for a little bit, right? As the EU, United States, and Russia figure out how they're going to manage everything and monitor things moving forward, right? So that's oil. We'll see if we break above this weekly level, then we could be in for a deeper retracement there. Okay.
Them moving that nuclear stuff is not going to affect that, is it?
Moving what nuclear stuff? You talking about Russia?
Yeah, with the oil, because it said it was a report they was moving in nuclear weapons into Ukraine.
If they continue to escalate the situation and cut off supply early, as Putin has been threatening, it could. It could. Yeah. What Joy's talking about is they've moved some nuclear weapons to the border, and they're looking at moving nuclear weapons into Ukraine. They've already voted to annex or separate some of the independent nations from Ukraine, so that they can protect them. And if anything happens there, then they'll declare war. So they're ultimately moving things into place to kind of prepare for that, if you will. So if things continue to escalate, it could have an impact on oil for sure. Yeah. Look at this pound NZD, and then Shawnee, yep, I'll pop back to that Euro JPY. Pound NZD. Let's go back. Crazy move to the upside. Crazy move to the upside, right? So now we got to see what happens from here. All right. So as we move down in time frame to the 4, right? Sitting at this B boundary off the low. Okay, shallow retracement, 118, 127. Now we're looking to see if we get this push to the downside and give us a retracement here. Okay. I got to clean this markup up a little bit, but looking for a retracement to come here. Okay. Where price is to 382, you're looking at 412 pips, right? 618, you're looking at 700 pips. Okay. So sitting nice in that B boundary zone. We'll see what happens, see if we get that retracement to come here, or if we get a push up to the 118 and 127 zone, and then a breakdown. Okay. But looking short nonetheless. Here on the 1, this is what that looks like. Price is right in that 118, 127 zone. Okay. Right in that 118, 127 zone, trying to make its way lower. Okay. If you pop the cloud on, bang. Trying to get us a twist, not quite, right? So it's just hovering sideways, but looking at this and to continue to or give us a retracement of some sort to the downside, right? Potentially move a little deeper, take back some of that 1,000-ish pips that it that it took back to the upside in these crazy extremes.
For sure. I scalped that one.
You did?
This morning. Yeah, I was up. So I was down on like the 1 minute if off the cloud.
Uh-huh.
It was a good break. It's correcting back to the upside now, but
This here.
see your break there.
Whew.
I took that off of like around, I think it was 199, like 199.05 or something like that this morning. Like late.
Gotcha. Cloud break is crazy, man. That was
Yeah,
quick.
right off that. You see that huge bearish candle?
So you took it off the bottom
right
here?
there. Yeah, like around 199. Right.
Man.
Yeah. So that was that's a quick one.
Any time frame, good people.
Yeah.
Any time frame. Any time frame.
Just looking for the zones in the cloud break, you know. Sometimes I get in this mode when the market's doing what it's doing. It's like sometimes I just want to be in and out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
for sure. For sure. It's available. It's available. All right. Let's take a look at any questions on that pound New Zealand though before we close out with the euro yen. Nope. All right, euro yen. Rashana, we're looking short here. Bounce back. Daily time frame. We haven't gotten a 382 yet. Came just shy. Came into this weekly resistance level, which this zone price loves. Uh-oh. My bad. 1 second, everybody. Don't know what just happened. There we go. Back into that zone, right? So now we're looking short. We'll see what happens here at this previous daily support level. If we break back below it, we could be headed down to 137. All right. 4 hour, you got shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. We're trying to make our way down. Okay. So that daily level is going to be key for us to watch. Here on the 1, that's a daily level at the 236 zone. But shallow retracement, 118, 127. Yeah. It closed below, but we'll see if we get a stronger push down, break of that trend line. Like I said, if we're able to break below that, looking at 137, 385 as the next level. Questions on that, Shauna?
Yeah, I'm already in it. I'm up like 40 something.
Uh-oh, you sound far away. You on the treadmill?
I think she said she's already in it. She's already in it.
Okay. You can hear me now?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm already in it. I'm up like 40 something pips. I just want to see what y'all thought.
Okay. Yeah. Right on time. Good job. Good work.
Okay.
Yeah. Looking short.
Okay.
At least down, and then we'll see what happens with the euro and the yen. But yep,
Okay.
looking short.
I'm gonna try to hang in it for the long term and see if how my patience is. But based on historical data, my patience ain't that long, killer.
You got it. We'll see, right? If we break this level, then we'll monitor it and see how deep we press. Yep.
That broke the cloud on the 15.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did. That was a nice move down there. So might get a little bit of a retracement and then continuation deeper. Good work. Any questions on anything that we covered this morning? Benny, anything before we close out, bro?
No, sir, man. Great session, right? You see, you can get it done on any time frame, cloud, no cloud, trend line breaks, whatever. The setups are there, right? So just continue to be patient and wait for them to happen, right? The price action will give you what you want. Let it just fall in your lap. But awesome job, man, this morning. Good job, everybody. Appreciate the participation. And I look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Everybody have an awesome Wednesday. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.